So I worked pretty hard this week to have the milestone 3 of the project completed, and it's looking good. So we're going to do a very short video showing the features of the new version that is related to the new milestone number 3. Here's a quick summary of the changes. So we added support for multiple layers in the map, so you can create multiple stories in the buildings, as well as a way to go up and down stairs, including a smooth animation. That's like a first block of changes that we did. So let's examine that first here in the test map that we created. So as you can see here, we have these layers, and one of the things I did was changing it. So before there were like specific layers for some predefined usages, like vegetation, floor, walls, and that kind of stuff. So I changed that, and now you can have any number of different layers that you can use to define your terrain. So they are just named consecutively. And then, well, we still have the items and the mobs layers. This is going to change in the next version, so that they are handled as objects, which is much more flexible. Then we have the objects layer, and then we have the solid and the opaque tiles. So basically this is a single story, or a single slice of the level, and then you can repeat this as many times as you want with the prefix of the number of the floor of the story. So this is story number 2. If I hide all these layers, I can see the second floor of this building. And in this case, it only has 2 ground layers here, and then it doesn't have any mobs. Oh, it does have this rat, yeah, and it has some items and objects. So yeah, this first part was adding that support, and then also adding well, doing a lot of revamps on the objects structure. So in order to support the stairs. So if you see here in this layer, we have different objects, including these stairs, and these stairs you can define some properties for them. So first one is the appearance, so it's whether it's a stairway going up or down. Then the actual direction, so it goes up to the second floor, and then whether it's a floor or not. So this is a property of the object. So in order to determine if the player is going to be drawn over it or not. So yeah, that also required doing some changes on the pre-existing objects like the doors. They also have some properties now, and we are also using now these object types from tiles. So we have the doors here, the stairs, and also the levers, which we will see in a little bit. So yeah, that all was needed in order to support that. And let's go ahead and check that into the actual engine. So here we are inside Yaya's hut. I just had saved the game before, and then if we go inside, we can just walk here into the second story and then walk back, and it's all smooth. There's another stairway that is inside this door, so we're going to go ahead and use it, and we can see the other side of the second floor. So that's the first block of things. Then we had the levers, so using levers to open and close doors remotely, and revealing levers on a wall when inspecting. These two things. So levers are also objects in the world. You can see them here, and then they have a definition of the type of door that they open. So in this case, it has to match this door ID, which was something that was not there. So these are the doors, and this is the lever. In this case, this lever has hidden attribute which determines that it's not displayed by default. And if we go there, we can use this lever. It's going to open this door, and we can also search for that other lever. The idea is that you get this clue from somewhere, from talking with a NPC or reading a book or something like that, and then you know where to look, because the idea is not to randomly look around everything. And then when we use the door, we can find this. So that's for the door, for the levers. And finally, well, there's a small change here in order to be able to examine items. So if we follow let's go ahead and follow the plan for the milestone. So the idea is that for milestone 3, you could go to the second floor. We just did that. Look for the secret lever. Then use it to open a door with the mystic sword. So let's go ahead and pick up that mystic sword. But before that, yeah, let's check the last part of the changes, which is the solo mode. Being able to switch players, the player character or the main character that we are moving around, to other party members. So we can do that now. Normally I'm using the main character, the avatar, but I can switch to solo mode now and control a single character like this. I can even go to a different story. Here's the avatar below. Then I can switch back to party mode, or I can just go solo with the avatar. It works all the ways. If we want to follow the plot, let's go ahead and talk to Aiolo, and then as usual, you can go ahead and play the new version in the demo. I am going to be uploading that to the website in a bit. If you want to read all this dialogue, you can talk with Aiolo, and then we can ask him to join our party. This is outdated now. We are now looking forward to the milestone number 4. Anyways, he's now in the party, and you can see that in party mode they all follow me. And here we want to switch the main character to Aiolo using the number key. So number key 3 activates Aiolo's solo mode, and then we can go there and open this door and get the mystic sword. And this is Aiolo's inventory, and we can just look into it, and it shows the description and the image of it. So that completes milestone 3, sorry. And that's it. I mean, it was a lot of works, adding the support for multiple floors and all that revamp on the objects model, but it's working now. So yeah, now let's talk about plans for milestone 4. One of well, besides the changes in the new features to be added in the engine, which we're going to be looking at in a bit, one of the things I want to add is some changes on the line of sight or visibility mask, so that it's more similar to the original Ultima 6. So I got some clues from Dog the Eagle, which is a dragon that created Ultima Dragon that created a very similar engine, or yeah, similar engine to OpenArthurian a long time ago. I think he's recently trying to go back into development of it. Anyways, yeah, the idea is to implement it using fluid fill. So basically, if you can see the door of a building, you will be able to see all the contents of the building. And yeah, it's not realistic, but there's two things here. Well, the first one is that it looks better. I think it looks at least more smooth, because the mask is not being updated with every step. And I was thinking on other ways to make it look smoother, but in any case, this one will look much better. And the other reason for this will be gameplay. So basically, even if it's not realistic, it will be good to for a game to be able to say, for example, if you go and check this window, being able to see all what is happening inside this building, and like giving the player a motivation to, or raising his curiosity to get into that building some way. So yeah, in any case, it's going to be built in as an option. I mean, it's not going to be mandatory. So the user of the engine can decide whether he wants to use this raycasting based line of sight, or if he wants to use the other more traditional line of sight. Now, regarding features, let's see what we have here. We want to add support for containers in the inventory. So we're going to have bags, and then you will be able to drag stuff into the bags and out of them, which, I mean, it's a lot of UI work. Then we want to be able to transfer items from one party member to the other, and that's going to require some changes, because right now you can only have one inventory kind of window open at a time, and it's all because of the support that we want to have for keyboard, or at least the way that we implemented it, but maybe that's going to require some revamp so that we can have more than one pop-up open at a time. So yeah, and then being able to wear or like activate the weapons on the mobs. So there are not many features for this Milestone 4, but it's going to be pretty big UI work.